This is Daniel Simon at Baton Rouge Community College, and this week I do have a preview video I'll share with you, of course, for History 1113 online course. I'm kind of go into like modules for the spring semester 2025. If you look at, of course, modules right now, you do have certain um, sections in modules to look at. To start at the beginning of the semester, I'll kind of go into like the first few weeks. And I know right now we've got the beginning here, Welcome to History 1113, preview video and all that, which I do. I've already kind of got some videos already out right now. Preview video should be a syllabus review video that you already have to look at. But right now, students in that first week before the semester starts should look at that first announcement about Welcome to History 1113 for the semester. If you got a question about the course again, you do have like a discussion section right here. You can also email me too also as well. There should be a preview video, kind of a tour of my course right here as well, which has been out for a while. I think I pre-recorded that before, but do look at that for information on that as well. Also, of course, syllabus information right here. Do look at that. Also, the beginning of the semester, I do have an announcement about the History 1113 course syllabus right here. It's also a previously recorded syllabus review. I think I just did that one in the fall semester. If you want to take a look at that, to kind of give you a background of what's in the syllabus and pretty much the course itself for History 1113. I've also got two announcements I've already talked about before about the student contract policy page, about completing that, and also the pre-test. Both those are going to be due in mostly week one of the semester. I've got a due date currently Friday, January 17th for both those, but that might be extended on the due date. Also down here on the bottom, there's information as well about my YouTube channel, which, a lot of my videos, announcements, like some of these preview videos I'll post on YouTube. And of course, I've got a lot of lectures on YouTube I'll share with you, of course, throughout the semester, which I'll be assessing later on, Canvas quizzes, exams, and things like that. But mostly the video today, I know for this preview video, I'm going to talk about the first 4 weeks, like what's going to be coming up in the beginning of the semester. They do have this preview video I've got for History 1113 weeks 1 through 4. So there's kind of the video right here. I'll post right here that I'll have. I guess I could post it on my YouTube channel later if I want. But I know in week 1, I have like especially weeks 1 and 2 have been combined at the beginning of the semester. The reason why I did that was because of the fact that the first lecture that I'll have on prehistory, like the early development of humans in history, it's like a short lecture, which I'll kind of assess. I think it's like a short quiz on that I've got. That's not a major quiz, but usually I give that in. Also assess the lectures on ancient Mesopotamia also because of that being so short. So that's the announcement, of course, about that first lecture on prehistory, which the lecture is right here posted. That lecture goes into like the historical background of prehistory. It does kind of spend a little time on the background of history. Like I kind of mentioned a little bit about Herodotus, the father of history. Do go into like the prehistoric background and development of early humans and things like that. There's like also another version of that lecture in PowerPoint as well, which just has the PowerPoint slides in it as well. You got a comment, question about the lecture, do ask me throughout the semester. You do get bonus points for participating with that aspect of the course right there. Now, I'll kind of be sending out further emails about that announcements about the discussion section. I might even include other, discussion type questions to ask students to kind of pique your interest, throughout the semester. So yeah, there's the quiz itself. Then the announcement, which you can see will be due Monday, January 27th. That's the final due date. And then anything after that will be considered late. So I think I'm kind of changing the format of how I do assessments throughout the semester. But after a due date ends, I do leave the assessment open towards the end of the semester, but I am going to be taking off points per day after it's late. I think it's like 1%, but I know eventually, I think it's set up in Canvas where I think the most it'll take off eventually will be 50%. So eventually, I guess after so many days, it'll get to that amount. That's how I kind of probably do that throughout the semester to at least give students a chance to make up assessments. Usually I do a makeup period, but I'll probably just leave it open in that format instead. Then going further down in Canvas modules, I do have another, lecture series on ancient Mesopotamia. I'll have for towards weeks 1 and 2. So I'll kind of go into the background of ancient Mesopotamia, which is mostly in Iraq today, modern Iraq. And I'll go into some syllables like the Sumerians, the Babylonians, the Assyrians. I think those are the major ones I'll probably cover the most. And there's a series of like really 2 lectures I've got. I think the first one, like that part 1 lecture on ancient Mesopotamia, goes in more into the background of like early Mesopotamia, especially with the Sumerian culture, which was probably the most famous culture that really came out of ancient Mesopotamia. Then the part 2 one goes more into like later civilizations, like the Babylonians, the Assyrians, etc., as well. So it's going to be a 2-part lecture series on ancient Mesopotamia, which will be assessed in another Canvas quiz number 2. And there is a combined version, if you want to look at that too, which just has the PowerPoint slides only with it right there. Then there's also, like I said, another discussion section. If you got a comment about that lecture or both lectures, you can leave comments there. If you have a question about something, do let me know also as well. So both these will be assessed early at the beginning of the semester, starting on Monday, January 13th. There's the actual upcoming Canvas announcement about Canvas quiz number 2. And then, of course, there's the actual quiz itself. Like I said, it'll be left open after the due date ends. But like I said, I'll be taking off points after like 1% a day that you don't complete it. All right, let's see. And then, of course, into like going to like weeks 3 and 4, which will be on mostly the history of like the Phoenicians, the Israelites, also ancient Egypt, at least early ancient Egypt as well. So starting on Monday, January 27th, towards week 3 and 4, I'll have these lectures on the history of the Phoenicians and also the Israelites. Those lectures will go into like the development of like Phoenicia, which developed where ancient Lebanon is. I'll also talk about the background of the Carthaginians and their empire, the Carthaginian Empire that developed in North Africa and the western part of the Mediterranean Sea. So I go into that with that lecture. So there should be a part 1 lecture just on Phoenicians and Carthaginian history. Does kind of go into the Punic Wars between like the Romans and the Carthaginians. And then I do have a lecture on like the history of the Israelites, which is like early Jewish history, where it kind of goes back to like the ancient Hebrews that developed first in Canaan, then in Egypt, then they became like the Israelites later, like the the kingdom of Israel, etc. So it goes into like the background of that right there with that part 2 lecture. There is a combined lecture too, if you're interested in that, that combines both the Phoenicians and Israelites together if you want. So there should be discussion questions on that later, which probably won't be visible right now, but that'll be for later, of course, in the semester. It's more into like week 3 with that. Then upcoming in the future, like some of these you won't see yet, in Canvas, but that'll be upcoming future Canvas announcement about that Canvas quiz number 3 on the Phoenicians and Israelites, which you can see that'll be more due into February. Then going further down in the modules, I'll kind of open up early as well into weeks 3 and 4, like early lectures on ancient Egypt, which will cover like the background of Egypt up through like the Old Kingdom when they started constructing the ancient pyramids, like the age of pyramids. So this section here, ancient Egypt, like parts 1 and 2, there's also a part 3 lecture I'll have later, will be assessed, I think likely like it was in the fall semester, will be assessed on a like an exam, like the first exam upcoming, at least as far as I know so far. I've kind of scheduled for that. So that's, I've got 2 different lectures. I've got the one on the early background of ancient Egypt, which kind of goes into like the early culture, geography, and history of ancient Egypt. Discussing also up to the time of King Menes, etc. So that's kind of what that part 1 lecture is. Also goes into like a lot of the mythology of like ancient Egypt and its gods. Discusses also like the famous mummification that that the Egyptians were known for, and then the Old Kingdom goes into like the mostly like tomb building, especially pyramid building, ancient Egypt, especially after like around the 4th, 5th dynasties in Egypt. So yeah, there's a combined version of that particular lecture as well if you're interested in it also. So later in February, I'll have like discussion sections on that. That'll be, available, but not now overall. So like I said, ancient Egypt will be assessed in a first exam, but that's not going to be open until probably closer to more like week 5 to kind of give you an idea with that. Let me go down further. That's pretty much it for that preview video for what's coming up in the first 4 weeks. So just kind of a review real quick, which I've already talked about previously from other videos. But like I said, reminders again, book reports, do send me, of course, information about, what book title you want to read for the semester. Remember, you have to have like just 1 book you have to read, just mandatory for my class. So there should be a book list right here. So let me know about that. I think it's like 2 students per book allowed about that. So do make sure, to do that. Go down further, of course, in modules. Don't forget vocabulary as well. You need to go ahead and start working on that, at least the first key terms. I know you can, they're not due till the end of the semester, but, try to get those done early, get those out the way, especially the first 3 out the way. Remember, you do get bonus points for turning them in early. I think it's like 10% bonus points, unless you don't turn in the source you cited. Usually I just won't give you the points for that extra credit, but make sure you, of course, start working on that. And the source for those can either, like I said, be your textbook, which is not mandatory for the course, but it's one of the main references you can get for the semester for my courses. And I told you, like online encyclopedias, you can also use as well. Then, of course, the study guides, like I said, starting with the first lectures on like prehistory, do answer the study guide questions. This will help you on the assessments throughout the semester. You do get bonus points for turning them in later as well. I think in the I think it was in the fall semester. I think I required some students to turn it in for like real points, but I'm not doing that this semester. That was kind of an experimental thing I did for the fall. But like I said, if you want to turn those in later, they're due by, final exam week overall. I think it says 30 here. I don't know why. That's a typo. That should be 40 bonus points each. There's a discussion section on that if you got a question about the study guides, of course, right there. Then they got that Veterans Project. Like I said, if you're interested in that, do let me know throughout the semester. I do have examples, of veterans interviews you can take a look at on my YouTube channel, but that's the actual guidelines for it. You do have to have a minimum 10-minute video for that Veterans Project interview, which could be yourself. Like if you're a veteran, like you're in the military, you just have to have find somebody to interview you, either audio or a video interview. I do need that. There's a release form you have to, of course, turn in as well. So there's just kind of some things that are out there you have to do for that project. Also, the Student Historical Documentary Project. If you're interested in that as well, do email me as well for that project as well. Both are due, like the Veterans Project and this project are both due, by final exam week in May, as you can see. And that has, like I said, guidelines for it, just like the Veterans Project does have. So make sure you do look over that. I do have examples of previous, documentaries that have been done. So this is kind of a fairly new project, of course, but that's, another way you can earn extra credit, during the semester overall. Of course, there is an academic calendar. Check that out right here below for the spring semester. I do have also semester office hours and things like that I've got posted right here below, which those could change, throughout the semester. I've got contact information as well below, like my email, phone numbers also as well. So those are kind of just things I've got posted right now in modules that are kind of important toward the semester. Like I said, right now you should be working on trying to, complete the pre-test and turn in that student contract policy page. Let me know, you've got a book report title, whichever book you want to read, do let me know about that. Turn that into me as well. If you're interested in one of those bonus projects that are, 200 bonus points, those are just volunteer projects. Do let me know about that. So that's it. If you got a question about the course, do let me know. Throughout the semester, there is a discussion section in Canvas about that. But you could just email me that kind of thing if you got a question about the course. So that's it for this preview about modules, Canvas modules throughout the semester. Like I said, if you got a question about the course, do let me know. So y'all take care, and I'll of course be seeing y'all throughout the semester off and on. So everybody take care.